On the In Session Real Estate TV show, we're talking real estate. How to buy a home with little to no money down, 7 things you must know before you list your home for sale, and how to avoid probate, and more. Tune in.
Kenny Session has over 25 years in the real estate business in the Bay Area. Kenny is the past president of the California Association of Real Estate Brokers and the past president of Associated Real Property Brokers. And now, your host, your real estate broker, Kenny Session.
Good morning, and welcome to another edition of the In Session Real Estate TV show. We really appreciate you taking some time out of your morning to watch our show. I am Kenny Session, the broker and CEO of Session Real Estate. I've been in business since 1987, and this show has been in production since 1997. We're happy to be here now on Coffee TV, where we will be able to share pertinent information with you on a weekly basis. This is not an infomercial. This is a real estate TV show. On today, we're going to be talking about a very important topic, and that's commercial real estate. I have on set with me Steve Peterson, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to read his bio, and then we're going to get right into the interview, Steve. But first, let me just say thank you for coming over, man. I know you're a very busy man. You know, out here doing these big deals, and we want to make sure that we can get the community involved in what it takes to do what you do. Steve Peterson has a CCIM certification. He's the broker owner of Infinity Investments, which is a commercial real estate and brokerage investment firm based in Oakland. He focuses and his expertise is on apartment buildings, large apartment buildings, but he also has expertise in office and retail properties as well. He's working as both a buyer and a broker in selling his properties. Steve has been in the commercial real estate business for 12 years, both as an investor and as an broker agent. Steve, again, welcome to the show, man. Tell me a little, you have anything else you'd like to maybe add to your bio right there?
Well, nothing really other than this year I'm the president of the Associated Real Property Brokers, which is the Oakland chapter of NARAB, National Association of Real Estate Brokers, which is one of the largest minority trade associations in the country, formed in 1947. So that's important to me because of the work that we do in the community here in Oakland and with NARAB throughout the country. So that's an important thing, and we'll probably get into that a little bit.
Yeah, we will. And it's important to me, too, because, you know, I've also held that position. Absolutely. I've also been president of ARPB, that's Associated Real Property Brokers, and I've also been president of the California Association of Real Estate Brokers. And we've talked a little bit about it, but our good friend Ron Cooper from Los Angeles has just become the president of our national organization. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, some events coming up. But let's just get rid of, why did you choose commercial real estate? I mean, could you tell them, why did you get in this business?
That's a great question. Well, you know, I got into the business in 2003. I still was at San Jose State, and what intrigued me about commercial real estate was kind of the mathematics and the numbers associated with the business. I was always kind of good with numbers in school, and the mathematics, the way you get to a value of a property was what drew me in. And then once I got there, I saw kind of the bigger picture and what commercial real estate really gives a broker or an investor an opportunity to grow in. And so when I got into the commercial real estate business, I saw people making millions of dollars, and not just in commissions and fees and flipping property, but really building wealth and building equity and cash flow at a kind of a enormous and accelerated rate. And so that for me was pretty exciting.
What's the difference between a commercial deal and a residential deal?
Yeah, well, there's a few things. And first off, to start off with, commercial real estate is set up in a few different food groups. The multifamily commercial real estate begins at 5 units and above. So when you got 1 to 4 units, that's residential. But once you get 5 units, it's commercial property. And the reason being is because now you have to get commercial financing. You can't get a residential loan for a 5-unit multifamily building. It is now commercial property. But you also have office property, retail property, hospitality property, industrial property, special use property for churches and different types of facilities, ballparks. So there's a vast array of different product types for commercial. And my specialty is apartment buildings, multifamily buildings. Okay. And the big difference, so I would look at it from multifamily, the big difference between residential and commercial, and from a transactional standpoint, is the income approach to value. When you're looking at an apartment building, the primary determinant to the value is the net operating income. That's the income that's left over after you collect all the rents and pay all of the operating expenses, not the mortgage. And so that's the primary determinant to value, whereas residential, the primary determinant to value is the sales comps, sales comparison. Right. We still look at sales comparison in commercial, but the main focus on valuation is the income. Yeah. So those are kind of the biggest. So therefore, the financing is different, and some of the language associated with the transaction is different. The same principles apply, and that's, I think, the thing that I like to get across to people who are considering going into commercial, either as an agent, broker, or an investor, is the same principles apply. Just a few of the practices and terminology and understanding is different.
Okay, and that's a little mouthful right there. It takes a pretty astute person to be able to look and put a value on the income, and you know, we see that happening a lot of times right now, where we've got single family houses that are more expensive than a unit because of the income that's come in. Right. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know that we've seen it a lot over in North Oakland and Emeryville right now, where single-family houses are selling for more than four units.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you see that a lot in a hot neighborhood like North Oakland or Lake Merritt, obviously in San Francisco.
San Jose and some of those areas.
And a lot of it has to do with, because once you get into multiple unit property, anybody who's going to buy that is going to be concerned with the income. They're going to be focused on what the income is. And anyone who buys a home, and that, you know, there's different reasons to buy a home, but primarily when you buy a home, you're worried about, or you're concerned about, the functional utility. In other words, living in that home.
Can I use it?
How do you use it? What's the shopping down the street? What's the transportation down the street? So therefore, it's going to intrinsically have a higher value than, let's say, a fourplex, because at a fourplex, those things matter, but what really, really matters is the income that it generates. Now, once you go 5+ as in commercial, that's the primary, but still, in a 4-unit building, even if you move into one of the units, you got to be aware of what's happening with the other units, because now that's going to be your stream of income, and you're also going to be responsible for it. Right. So therefore, a house is probably, especially in a great neighborhood, is going to always sell on a per square foot basis more than a duplex or fourplex, or certainly a 5+ unit commercial multifamily property.
You're watching the In Session Real Estate TV show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Do you need income protection? Call Don Hills, Independent Insurance Broker.
Hello, I'm Dawn Hills with DMH Insurance, and I'm an independent insurance broker. Income protection helps families when you're injured and can't work. Life insurance is legacy planning and can also protect your mortgage. Call me, Dawn Hills, for a free consultation to protect you and your family. Dawn Hills Insurance, for your every need.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Here at Infinity Investments, it's our mission to build a portfolio of investment property communities and a large network of investors, buyers, sellers, and tenants whom we serve by operating with character, integrity, and a commitment to excellence. And as our gift to you, we like to invite you out to one of our free monthly seminars where you'll learn the fundamentals of how to buy, own, and operate multifamily properties. Look forward to seeing you soon.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
And tell me, what are some of the most difficult challenges that you find in the commercial business?
Yes, yeah. Well, that's,
we all got challenges, but what are the biggest challenges?
No, that's a great question, Kenny, and it's a few of them. And I think the number one challenge that you work with in commercial is once you understand the value, once you understand the numbers, is now putting the right kind of financing on the deal. There's a lot of different financing options for apartments particularly, but it's understanding the right type of loan for what your strategy is. And I say that's always a challenge because even if you're an A1 buyer and you got millions in a bank, they're looking at the property first.
Okay.
And every single property is a lot different. Whereas in residential, you kind of got a standard, cookie cutter approach to getting that loan done.
Right.
In commercial, every single property, every single deal, in my experience, is a different animal. Right. So and when I say the right financing, so a lot of loans in commercial, you're not going to find a lot of 30-year loans in terms of what the term is. They're going to be 5 years, 7 year, 10 year, sometimes 15 year at best. And so you've got to marry your strategy with the right type of loan. And so in other words, if you're planning on turning the property and selling it in 3 to 5 years, you need to get the proper financing for that. If you're planning on holding that property for 7 to 10 years, you need to make sure you got the right financing for that. Because if you don't have the right type of financing for your strategy, then you could end up with short-term debt in a long-term situation, and that's not a good thing. So you want to make sure you get the right loan for what you're trying to do, and that's not easy. Even if you're a multi-millionaire with millions in the bank, they're looking at the property and then they're looking at you.
Okay. And you kind of alluded to when we first started that you like apartment buildings.
Yeah.
But give them a little idea of I don't know, maybe a deal that you really, your favorite deal.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about your favorite deal that you've done?
Yeah. Thanks for asking me that, Kenny, because that's my favorite deal was one I did in 2009. It was kind of the deal that helped me to start my company. And I was, in 2009, the real estate market was really down. And not a lot of people wanted to take risks on apartment buildings. But there was a property that was in foreclosure. It was on 68th and MacArthur. Chase had the loan. And, I had the buyer. I found the buyer that, I developed him through my network, through consistent networking. And he happened to have cash. He sold all his properties, or most of his properties, in 2007 because he saw that there was trouble in the horizon. And so he came out with cash, and then he started to buy. So luckily, I sold him this building for $3.7 million at the time. I tell people at that time it was blood on the streets, literally, because the market was down. But when we were in contract, there was also 4 police had got shot and killed on 74th and MacArthur, right down the street from this property. So while we were in escrow, so that was a very difficult and challenging time. But we worked our way through it, and when it closed, what I realized is that this is something that I could do in a very difficult time. So I said I was working for a brokerage at the time. When I completed that transaction,
you took the money and opened your own company.
Exactly. So for me, that was kind of a groundbreaking deal, but it also let me know that when there's always opportunity, when there's significant challenges and adversity, you just got to navigate your way through the water.
Yeah, I can appreciate that because I opened my company back in '95, and that's when we were kind of in some of the same issues. So a lot of times, good things can happen during bad times.
That's right.
That's right. Well, tell me, what is we talked about your favorite deal. What are the best opportunities available? I know that you see deals all over the place. Where the best opportunities right now?
Yeah, and that's a great question. And I think right now it's difficult, right? Coming to summer 2015, everybody's buying. The prices have really shot up. But I still think that multifamily property is a great opportunity to invest in because even though the prices have shot up, the rents have really gone up. And we're kind of in a housing crisis right now in the Bay Area. We don't have enough housing units to house all the people that live here. So I think that multifamily property from a long-term investment standpoint is still a good way to go, as long as when you get into the property, it cash flows. But here's another thing. If you're able to get into a property to either develop additional units on that property or develop units from a vacant lot, I think that's a huge opportunity right now because, again, like I say, we don't have enough housing stock for the amount of people that want to live here, especially in Oakland, and especially San Francisco. But Oakland's kind of going through a growth that we really haven't seen before. So we need to be able to house people. I also think there's a huge opportunity in hospitality in hotels in markets like the Bay Area, and specifically Oakland, where there's only a few hotels. And in fact, we have this large demand, and people just don't have anywhere to go. So what we've seen is hotel average daily rates beginning to skyrocket. The vacancy is very, very low. So I think those are two real good opportunities, multifamily and in hospitality, especially here in the Bay Area. But the point is this: there's always opportunity, despite the market conditions, despite what people are kind of going through in their own cycle. There's always opportunity. You just got to find it and find what product point, what price point works for you and your strategy. I think multifamily, along with hospitality properties right now, are some of the best places to invest.
Okay. You're watching the In Session Real Estate TV show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Do you need income protection? Call Don Hills, Independent Insurance Broker.
Hello, I'm Dawn Hills with DMH Insurance, and I'm an independent insurance broker. Income protection helps families when you're injured and can't work. Life insurance is legacy planning and can also protect your mortgage. Call me, Dawn Hills, for a free consultation to protect you and your family. Dawn Hills Insurance for your every need.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
Here at Infinity Investments, it's our mission to build a portfolio of investment property communities and a large network of investors, buyers, sellers, and tenants whom we serve by operating with character, integrity, and a commitment to excellence. And as our gift to you, we'd like to invite you out to one of our free monthly seminars where you'll learn the fundamentals of how to buy, own, and operate multifamily properties. Look forward to seeing you soon.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
We finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
This lovely 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home is located at 3920 Edwards Avenue in Oakland, California. It has totally remodeled bathrooms, a large updated kitchen with stainless steel appliances, glistening hardwood floors, and a huge backyard. It is listed at $460,000. This 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom great starter home is located at 111 Pacific Court in Vallejo, California. It features a 2-car garage and is listed at $245,000. This exquisite 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home is located at 238 Chalet in the Alum Rock District in San Jose, California. It has fresh paint and new appliances and is move-in ready and is listed at $632,000. This palatial 6-bedroom, 6.5-bedroom custom home located at 13383 Campers Drive in the Oakland Hills has beautiful sweeping views from bridge to bridge. Call for a private showing. It is listed at $3,500,000. This well-maintained 2-bedroom, 1-bath home is located at 2757 Parker Street in Oakland, California. This home features a new kitchen, new bath, new roof, and stainless steel appliances. It is listed at $340,000.
Hi, my name is Steve Peterson. I'm the president of the Associated Real Property Brokers of Oakland. Please join us for our 51st annual Scholarship Awards Gala on October 9th at Jeffrey's Inner Circle from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. And join us in helping to further the education of our youth here in Oakland.
Yes, do you help an investor, say it's a brand new investor, a novice investor? First of all, how would they get involved with you? And what kind of investments would you be looking for? How would they want to come and work with you?
Yeah, well, that's a great question, Kenny, and I think the first part of it starts with education. So we do a seminar every month on the topic of multifamily investing. And what I do is go over the basics of what it takes to analyze and to buy an apartment building. And so I think that's really where an investor needs to start. If they're just starting fresh, you need to get a real good understanding of what you're getting into. And then know once you get into it, what to do. Okay. So what I suggest is people to come to one of our seminars, either in person or on our YouTube station, get a foundation, a fundamental understanding of the business, and then start working with someone. Find a mentor, find someone out there who's done this before. And if you go on YouTube, if you go on the internet, there's a lot of different groups out there. You know, we could provide mentorship and guidance as a company and as a brokerage, but there's always somebody. Get somebody who you feel comfortable with bouncing ideas off, because then what you want to do is you want to get into the business. You want to start looking at properties, you want to start making offers. And when you're in that process of looking at properties, making offers, you got to get qualified. And you got to get your down payment strategy together. How are you going to fund this down payment? And there's a lot of ways. We can get in that a lot at our seminars. But you need to figure out your acquisition strategy. But the biggest thing, you got to get in the game. Right. And when you get in the game, it's important to have a solid team around you so that when you got some questions, you're going to have them. You have people to bounce them off. Okay. And you mentioned something about your investment seminars. Do you have one coming up anytime soon? Yeah, the next one's going to be on September 30th at my office on 24th and Telegraph from 6:30 to 8:30. It's always free to the public. And it's something that we do. We always do it on the last Wednesday of the month. And it's really educational driven. I'm not pitching properties, or we're not pitching some sort of opportunity. What we do is we have you come in, we got some wine and cheese, and we really drill down into how to analyze a property. And the biggest mistake I see investors make is not correctly analyzing the existing income and expenses. We tend to get real positive when we're excited about something. So that's a good thing, but we also have to be pessimistic to have to pay for it. And so you got to mitigate that risk right up front.
Well, we saw a lot of that back in just recently with people using 100% financing to buy income property, and the property, and they're going in the door with a negative cash flow. And then when something happens, it's just, there's no way to recover. You want to talk a little bit about that, that type of mistake that people make, because it's not all hunky-dory, but there are major mistakes that investors have made. You want to talk about a little bit about that?
And I think it's something that we saw maybe for the first time in history on an institutional level. You had major institutions making these mistakes, and it basically is over leverage. So when you buy a property and it has too much debt, and the reason why someone would do that is because, hey, I don't have to put money down.
I don't have no money. Right? I don't have no money to put down.
Right, and so I can go buy this property. The challenge is that the net operating income, the money that's left over after you collect rent and you pay your expenses, is not enough to pay the mortgage. And if it's not enough to pay the mortgage, it's certainly not going to pay you.
That's a horrible deal.
That's a horrible deal. And a lot of people got into those horrible deals. A lot of companies got into those horrible deals because they got wrapped up into the philosophy of it's just going to keep going up. Real estate, it's real estate. They're not making it anymore. They're just going to keep going up. Well, real estate is cyclical. It goes up and it goes down.
Right.
And we have to remember that. Therefore, the numbers have to make sense. When I say the numbers have to make sense, the net operating income not only has to pay the mortgage, but it also has to pay you. It has to provide a cash flow. And if you don't budget for it to pay you, when things go wrong, you're going to have to pay for it. So that's the biggest thing you don't want to do. You don't want to put too much debt on a property to the point where all the income for the property is going to pay the debt and there's nothing left over. The only time you would go into a property where there's high leverage or higher than normal leverage is that the income is higher than normal, and it's able to not only support that leverage but also pay you.
Right.
And when I say pay you, that's your cash flow, and you have to budget that in. That's the whole point of buying income property.
And that's why I asked that question, because I know that I've personally made that mistake buying something that was over leveraged. And at the end of the day, that even though I didn't put very much of my money into the transaction, even though I wasn't totally, I didn't have much money in the deal, it ended up costing me a lot of money, because at the end of the day, like you said, as soon as one of those tenants didn't pay the rent, as soon as I think we had a plumbing backup, and just any small thing that happens can just knock you all the way off the Richter scale, and then it start costing you money to try to save your butt.
Right, and when you got into it with the whole purpose of, hey, I'm going to make an income, this property, I'm going to buy this property, and it's going to supplement my income, it's going to develop passive cash flow, I'm building with that's the purpose of why we buy properties like this. But if we don't get the fundamentals right, we can end up out of the business quicker than we got in. And it's important for people to get a real good understanding of the business, especially commercial. But any element of real estate, you should develop an expertise, or specialty. You don't want to be the jack of all trades and a master of nothing. You want to get one or two topics really, really down pat to where you know it like the back of your hand. And so for commercial real estate, I always recommend that people engage with the CCIM Institute. CCIM stands for Certified Commercial Investment Member. It's a designation, but more than a designation, it is a network of people.
And they've been trained. You don't get that designation without the proper training.
That's right. Absolutely.
So, folks, we're just about out of time today. I really appreciate you guys tuning in this morning to our show. I'm hoping the show gave you some valuable information. Remember, we're going to be online live with you on sessionrealestate.net immediately after the show. So log on to your computers and come and see us, and give Steve a call if you have any commercial real estate needs. Remember this: Jesus Christ is Lord. He loves you. I love you. I love this community. I love the work I do. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.
For advertising information on the In Session Real Estate TV show, or to buy or sell real estate, give us a call at 510-568-4200 and log on to our website at sessionrealestate.net. And log on to sessionrealestate.net after the show to see Kenny Session live to answer your real estate questions.